Hello, ladies and gentlemen. I am Navy, and today I am going to read 3 stories from the subreddit r/Nuclearrevenge. I hope you had a good day till now, and if not, that it will be. These stories include 2 cheating stories worth hearing, and a Karen that cannot find her car anymore. But until I start, I wanted to tell you that today I am going to do something special, and I am going to give away $10 just for you. Yeah, it ain't much, but it's honest work. This can get you 20 rolls of toilet paper. All you have to do so you can win is to comment on this video and be subscribed. And of course have a bank account accessible so I can send in the money. As this has been said, do not forget to like, subscribe and comment. And let's not waste any more time and get right into it. First title being Cheat and lie about why we broke up, enjoy being disowned and cut out by your family. This happened between me, M25, and my ex, F24 over the past few months. I will keep it short but keep all important details. To start, the first month was amazing, like a dream relationship. We had been friends for a while before when she suddenly confessed. I had hid my feelings as we were meant to only be friends, so I jumped at the opportunity stating my feelings. The second month was not as bad, only having a single argument as she invited her neighbor over to what was supposed to be a date. After talking it out, we sorted it and made up. The third month was when the problems started. We had planned out a date to be on a Saturday, as she had work on our usual Friday times. I understood and changed the day of the restaurant I booked to then. I hadn't told her as I wanted it to be a surprise instead of the usual home movie. But she knew to keep that day clear and to dress well for the date. Only an hour before the date, she texts me saying that she won't be there tonight, as she was going to see a movie with a friend. I was honestly furious as I had already paid the pre-booked fee and told her over a week in advance. I tried to call her but her phone was off. I called her best friend and he had no idea what was happening either. The next morning I talked to her and she argues with me saying I should have told her it was a restaurant meal. After about an hour of argument she finally admitted that she was wrong for what she did. I accepted that and we took a day break to calm and clear any bad feelings. After that the relationship started to decline. I stayed the same but she started to get more and more distant. Eventually, after 3 weeks of no intimacy, not even kisses, I confronted her asking what's going on. She says she needs a week to think and wanted to be single for that. I told her I don't mind taking a break if that's what she needs, but I don't see why being single is needed for that. She argued it's for her freedom and I realized it was for another guy. We broke up and she spread lies about me cheating and being abusive. Thankfully, the friends she spread it to wouldn't believe her as we had all known each other for years, her being introduced to them through me. Her best friend had tried to defend me and she had blocked him but he knew her friend group. Through them, we discovered that she had been cheating the last 3 weeks of the relationship, as well as the friend she went to the movies with being a Tinder hookup, left me to start dating the new guy. To nobody's surprise, he blocked her after she tried to start dating him. Soon, she dropped out of university as the guy had uploaded the videos of her cheating to porn sites and it spread throughout her university. Then I decided I wanted revenge. It wasn't much as I knew her parents and were really close. They knew nothing that was going on and assumed we just broke up. Her parents though are super religious along with her grandmother. So, although painful, I found the links to the videos, downloaded them and took screenshots of all the breakup. Then I contacted her family saying I had something I wanted to share, created a group chat with her parents, grandmother and ex-best friend. Then I unloaded all screenshots and videos along with a text message explaining everything that's happened. There was no contact for about a week. Then her ex-best friend filled me in on the situation. She had lost her scholarship due to dropping out of university. Her grandmother, after seeing the proof, cut her from the will and disowned her, followed by her parents and her being evicted from the house as well as support cut off. She now is working a minimum wage job and sharing a home with her friends. Crap, I think this is a bit over the top, A bit too nuclear, but she deserves it in the end. Because if you do something that you do not want to be found by nobody, cover your tracks, or better, and hear me out for this one, do not do it. Is it okay for her to go ahead and cheat on you? Hell no. Is it okay for you creating a group chat with her family and sending videos of her dirty dancing? Also no. But who am I to judge? I am Navy and welcome to another video. Just kidding. Until OP's ex works another hour, we should move on to the next story. Lady wouldn't vacate private parking space. Good luck finding your licenseless car in another country's police impound lot. I have lived in an apartment complex in Lisbon, Portugal. The where is important. For the last 4 years. If anyone's from here, you'll know parking is hell. Fortunately, my building has a private garage. However, as is often the case, some parking places are more difficult to park in than others. I have one of the easier ones. Last year I was offered a job abroad and took it. Thought I'd be nice and parked my car at my parents' where they have plenty of space, and left a notice in the building elevator that went along the lines of I'm the owner of 3B and will be away for at least 6 months. Feel free to use my parking spot. Ended up being away for longer, almost a year. Came back to see my parking spot occupied, which was okay since I offered it to be used. Put another notice in the elevator, this time to say I was back and would use the parking spot again. Gave it 2 days and picked my car up from my parents. I went into my garage and my space was still being used. I had to park somewhere else on the street and decided to give it another day. The day after, it was occupied again by the same car. Asked a couple of neighbors and figured out it belonged to a lady living 2 stories above me. I went up to talk to her and she immediately got defensive and said that her parking spot is very difficult for her to park in. And since I was away for longer than I had announced, I lost the space. Which is a stupid logic as the spots are bought with the apartment. It literally belongs to me. She also told me I couldn't use her parking space instead as she was using it for storage. Went to the building admin who said he'd talk to her. He did and came back shaking his head. Nothing. I sent a registered letter telling her to stop using my space and giving her 48 hours to take her car elsewhere. The next day I saw the unopened letter in the garbage bin beside the mailboxes. I ended up scouting my garage waiting for her to leave and would immediately park my car, hoping she'd take the hint. She didn't, and we ended up doing this dance for a few weeks. Up until the day I came back to see my entire driver's side kid. That was the final straw. I talked to a friend who owns a towing company. We chose a Saturday morning. The last few weeks she hadn't left home on Saturdays. I knew as I had been watching her car like a hawk, so I thought we'd have big chances of her not noticing anything until everything was done, and towed her car. The plan initially was to leave the car just down the road, but that felt too close and too easy. Then I thought about leaving it in a city about 15 minutes away, but it still didn't feel quite right. My friend jokingly said, let's leave it in Madrid. Madrid is in Spain, about 600 kilometers, 375 miles away. I knew he was joking, but Madrid did feel right. I asked if he had enough time. He had, so off we went. Once we got to Madrid, we went out for lunch, strolled around in the city and waited until it got dark and the streets were empty. In the meantime, we had already decided on where to leave the car, a handicapped parking close to a police station. And so we did. As a bonus, my friend also took both license plates of the car. Then we drove back. It has been 2 weeks and I haven't seen her car since. One of these days I might leave a letter in her mailbox telling her to contact Madrid police. But in the meantime I'll enjoy being able to use my parking whenever I want to. How does one become so entitled? You stayed more than you said, so your property is mine. Man, shut your I deserve the world looking ass. Yeah, that was nuclear. 600 kilometers away. That's crazy. But until this lady goes on a search, we should hop on to the next and last story of the video. Ex cheated with her cousin and expected to save face? I think not. For context, it was her cousin-in-law. Huh. Let's start this story by saying this happened 12 years ago. I'm now happily married with 3 children and regret absolutely nothing. I was with her for 3 years. I had noticed that she was being extremely controlling. I was expected to give every little detail of my day and tell her my schedule in advance. And if I deviated from that, she would be very upset. She chalked it up to just bad feelings she was having and shrugged it off as her paranoia for past relationships of infidelity. I had never once cheated or strayed, and I never gave her a reason to act like this. It felt unbecoming of my fiancé to act in such a way. Now this is where it gets juicy. After she had asked for my schedule to make plans, as mine tends to be more hectic than hers, I noticed she was texting someone. In my line of work, if I put in more than 40 hours, I have the ability to take time off at will as long as the work is completed at a later date. I was very good friends with a brother and still am. We laugh about this to this day, and he actively reminds her of it. I messaged him stating I wanted to do something special for her, a little bit earlier than our anniversary to make sure it was a special surprise. They both worked in the same fabrication facility. He was a fabricator and she was a shipping manager. He was kind enough to let me know her schedule. That's where the discrepancy falls into place. Without my knowledge, she was foregoing overtime. She worked 12-hour shifts Monday through Friday, with the exception of Wednesday, when she would only work half a day. She had been taking Wednesdays off right around the time that she started getting extremely controlling. Lucky for me, I had stacked several days of leisure time up, so taking a Wednesday off for me was not an issue. A few days go by and Wednesday's here. I put on my work gear and leave for work. I was expecting her to leave as our apartment complex had 2 exits on the same road I could see directly across from a shopping center, so I parked my car near the back and waited. After about an hour, I noticed a very specific red Mustang with a specific decal on the back window. It was her cousin, by marriage. I had also done my due diligence to take an old laptop which we kept on our desk in an office area with a full view of the living room, bedroom door and bathroom, plus the kitchen. I had set it up for remote access and had it alert me when the webcam noticed movement. Giving her the benefit of the doubt, I thought he may be dropping something off or coming over to assist her with something, as her family does sometimes. Sure enough, a message came through, so I remote into my laptop. He walks through the door without skipping a beat. She unbuttons his shirt and begins kissing him. I created a URL link for the live stream, and as she was preoccupied, we had a family group text and a friend group text. They were both part of it, but at the current time, they were currently indisposed and didn't look at their phones. They didn't even wait. They could have gone to the bedroom. But no, they decided to get freaky dicky right there on the couch. I sent a link off to the friend group chat and the family group chat. Within minutes, I'm getting calls non-stop from friends and family alike. There was no turning back. She was getting blown up, but she was ignoring her phone. Not until the 4th or 5th call came through did they decide to take a break. For context, the state I live in allows recording of personal property regardless of occupancy. I was the only one on the list because she wasn't allowed to be on the list because of poor credit. The call she had picked up was from her cousin's mother who she was banging. She answers the phone on speaker and I kid you not, the first words out of his mother's mouth were "Stop freaking my son." They both became rigid and she began to stutter over her words, saying, "What are you talking about?" etc. The mother then divulged that there was a live feed of them sent out by me to her family. She grabbed every pillow of the couch and covered herself up. The cousin staggered off, trying to put on his pants and shoes just to trip himself up and bang his head off my coffee table, leaving it with a divot. By this time, I had made my way to the front of the apartment complex. I was there to greet the adulterer as he came out of the front exit. He froze and began to cry, apologizing profusely. I'm not going to lie, what happened afterwards wasn't my best moment, and I nearly got into legal trouble if it weren't for the fact that he was trespassing on private property. Let's just say I had a guest for 6 weeks, and he wasn't in any family photos for months. I went up to the apartment where she was now fully clothed and crying inconsolably. I asked her if it was not or on her face. Then I told her not to answer because it didn't matter anyway. I gave her 1 hour to remove all her belongings as again everything in the apartment was mine except for clothes, some makeup and a few kitchen utensils. Her mother would not let her move in as she was just filled with embarrassment. Same for her brothers and the cousin's mother kicked her son out. Rumors spread around our town very quickly, and for a lack of better words, she was untouchable. Damn, I think she was stuck in the dryer. How in the God's name can you sleep with your cousin? It is her step-cousin, but it's weird as freak. The family reunions must have been crazy if they were to be invited after. As a wise man once said, made in Alabama. Oh no, that is not what I wanted to say, but anyway. This is the end of the video. Do not forget to subscribe for that $10 and I hope you have a good morning, evening or night depending on where you are. Bye!